currently the only crossing point between our two great counties. Our family farm is along the River Nene and along the Wash frontage. So I kind of live on the river. I see the tide come in and out twice a day, and quite often we go walking out on the marsh as well. So I've kind of spent my life in this environment. But the family farm, we're trying to go regenerative, and we're trying to improve the quality of the food, the nutrient value of the food we produce. We're trying to do it with also benefiting nature, reducing our inputs, and of course we're trying to maintain a profit margin as well. I do support this proposal on the basis of the benefits of flood defence. I haven't financially invested in it, but I have invested my understanding of the problem and my experience. Most speakers tonight have talked about the wash. They've talked about the wildlife. I'm going to talk about people. So I'm going to take a slightly different angle to the whole problem. I am chairman of a group called the Wash Frontage Group, that is a farmer group, landowner group if you like, and we all own land around the Wash, from Gibraltar Point, where sort of Tammy lives. I'm not actually at the point, I know Tammy, but from Gibraltar Point all the way around to Wolverton Creek. And it's a great group, and we've got a lot of experience amongst us, and we've come together to promote and encourage improvements to the coastal and river flood defences around the Wash, to protect people, to protect towns, businesses, farming and food production. So what are we protecting in the fens? The Wash is out there, but people live in the fens. It's a low-lying area. It's the red area that everyone's seen on the map at least twice tonight. There's 600,000 people. There's rural communities, villages, towns and cities. There's non-farming businesses, road, rail infrastructure. Anyone heading north from here will go through Suttonbridge and go through the fens. Rail infrastructure, proposed nationally important water infrastructure. There's 2 reservoirs Anglia Water are going to build in the fens. Power generation and infrastructure. 53% of UK energy generation takes place within IDB, internal drainage board districts, and the internal drainage board districts cover areas that are prone to flood, and that means predominantly in the fens. Offshore wind farms, all those lovely wind farms out there, the power comes onshore through the Wash and through the fens. There's lots of lovely substations, and they cannot afford to be inundated. And of course, more importantly, from my perspective, it's the major centre for food production and processing in the UK, and it's vital for our food supply and the employment that brings. The value of fenland agriculture and its upward supply chain is more than £3 billion and supports over 80,000 jobs. The tidal surge of 2013 flooded Boston and overtopped or breached flood defences at Friskney, Wrangle and Leverton. And all the Wash flood defences, especially those in the towns of Wisbech and Kings Lynn, were within inches of being overtopped. The surge levels have increased over the years. 1953, the level recorded at Hob Hole Pumping Station, which is near Boston, 5.2 metres. 1978, 5.5 metres. 5th of December 2013, 6 metres. So there is a pattern developing here. The Committee on Climate Change reports that almost certainly sea levels around the UK will increase by 1 metre or more at some point in the future, and this could happen as early as 2100. So, what are the Wash Causeway proposal benefits from my perspective? Flood alleviation, improved flood protection for the fens along the frontage, and not just the fens, but also Snettisham, Heacham, Hunstanton, low-lying area at risk from tidal surges. The causeway sluice gates can be closed if a storm surge is predicted or near the high tide, and will protect the fens from Lincoln in the north, Peterborough in the west, Cambridge in the south. It is a very big area. And just so people know that actually the coastal area is the higher area. The further you go inland, the lower the levels. Holden Fen is very deep. Deeping Fen is not called Deeping Fen because it's shallow. It's a long way down there. The tide can also be held back if we have heavy inland rainfall events, like Wainfleet in 2019, to enable the gravity outfalls to have greater time to clear. Protecting nature and the environment. There's a lot to be learned. The causeway could offer protection of the unique ecology of the Wash by controlling storm surges that could damage the marsh and better manage rising sea levels. Inland flooding and complete wildlife destruction, as seen in Wainfleet in 2019, is not to wildlife's benefit. However, environmental safeguards and mitigation are key to this proposal, and if they are not carried out to everybody's satisfaction, and especially the statutory bodies, this is not going to go ahead. So why should we support the causeway? In 2018, I led a project called the Wranglebank Project, which increased the sea level, increased the bank level from what do we do? It's 5.4 kilometres, and we increased the level from 6 metres to 7 metres. Now, that was a great achievement. It costed quite a lot of money, but it was only 5.4 kilometres. Now, there's 80 kilometres of wash frontage, and there's 140 kilometres of tidal rivers. We mentioned the Witham, the Welland, the Nene is tidal all the way to Peterborough, and the Ouse all the way to Erith. And the cost of improving those embankments is astronomical. The EA think maybe to keep things as they are is going to cost $5 billion. It will take generations to complete the works in a piecemeal manner, and we haven't really got that amount of time. And to do it from the public purse is not really going to happen, in my opinion. The Wash Causeway is a single opportunity to protect all those people. The RSPB have highlighted the risks of the change to wildlife. This response is one-dimensional. It does not tackle the multi-dimensional problem that climate change is throwing at us in this area. Our beautiful English countryside has always adapted to the challenges of the times. We must recognise this and not be frightened to change. There will be many objectors, and I challenge them all to propose an alternative to this proposal.
Managed retreat.
So where do you live?
It's not about where you live.
Well, it is, because I live somewhere where I'm not prepared to manage retreat.
If you move the water...
I'm afraid managed retreat is not an option if you're looking at somewhere like a fens. It's a completely impractical, naive suggestion. Renewable energy, at Wells, Lord Leicester wisely commented that behind every threat lies an opportunity. I urge you to consider the opportunities of this proposal, which have been outlined. Everyone who buys food, travels, or lives in a house is responsible for global warming, for climate change, and the potential sea level rise we're going to experience. We all need to accept our responsibility and act to mitigate the effects. This proposal could do that and it could solve the problem for future generations. I'm not prepared to pass the buck down the line for the next generation to have to deal
Well,
with.
that's exactly what we will do.